Good day, metric students. Let's have the greatest most argument from the paper that was written nationally by our metric class of 2023, plus or minus few hours ago. The paper did attract my attention, so I'm going to solve it in the metaphoric sense, and I'm going to start with a question that is not incongruent with a beacon of accountability, and that is question 1. This question play a fourth arm in the entire paper, so let's exercise our trail of thoughts together. The first page of the paper, it's basically the logo of the basic education department, and it's National Senior Certificate, grade 12, mathematics paper 1, November 2023. The paper was out of 150 marks for the duration of 3 hours, okay? And it has 9 pages. Now, the second page of the paper is basically the information and your instructions. So I'm not going to read that because I'll be wasting the luxury of my time. I'm going to go straight to the first question, which is to solve for x. It's basically algebra, and it was out of 24 marks. Let's check how you're supposed to accumulate that 24 marks, okay? 1.1, solve for x. They give you 4 problems just right there. 1.1.1 is given by x squared plus x minus 12 is equal to 0. So let's solve that. 1.1, that is to solve for x. 1.1.1, you are given the problems. That is x squared plus x, take away 12 is equals to 0. You can double check that. It's x squared plus x minus 12 is equals to 0. Now, you must check the marks. The marks here is 3 marks. So the first mark, you get it by the correct factorization. Let's do that. You factorize that properly. You get x, and then a 4, and then a 3 there. Then you get a plus 4, and then a minus a 3. Be very careful. You must be able to get a plus x when you expand that carefully. So now, you need to equate each factor and solve for x. So your x is going to be negative 4, or x is going to be equals to positive 3. Now you get a mark for the correct factors, and 1 mark for x being 3, and 1 mark for x being what? Negative 3. So that is 3 marks right there. And then now 1.1.2, you are given what now? You are given 3x squared minus 2x is equal to 6. So that is a 3x squared minus 2x is equals to 6. Look, guys, this one is a quadratic equation. So now it must be in its standard form. That is to say that you're going to have 3x squared minus 2x minus 6 is equals to 0. You can't divide each term by 3 because 3 it cannot get into minus 2x, okay? Now, that's why they said correct answers correct to 2 decimal places. So they are telling you indirect to say use a quadratic formula, or what? Completing of the square primarily from grade 11. So now let's check that. I'm going to pen down the formula for quadratic. It's very popular. That is going to be equals to x equaling to minus b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant, which is a b squared minus 4ac. You divide this situation by 2a. Now, your b in this equation is minus 2, your a is 3, and then your c is minus 6. Let's do that quickly. We have a minus b, so b is negative 2, and then a plus or minus the square root of the discriminant. And then you have minus b, then you square this, minus 4 into a. So your a is 3 into c is minus 6. Okay, I'm just going to enlarge this square root here and divide this stuff here by 2 into 3. Now we are going to say negative times negative is positive 2 plus or minus the square root of the discriminant. If you do that properly inside the radicand, you are going to get 76 there. You divide this stuff by 6. Okay, so now you need to conclude your answers. Allow me to create more room for this. So now it means that your answers are going to be x is equals to, correct, 2 decimal places, please get that. So it's 1,79, or x is equals to -1,12. So how many marks? This one's 4 marks. This one's 4 marks. Let's get that quickly. So to be able to substitute correctly, you get a mark there, and then maybe they would give you a standard form of it, because normally they don't give mark for simplification, and then they're going to give you 1 mark for that, and then 1 mark for that x name. So it's 1 mark for a standard form, or 1 mark is going to be here. They don't give mark for a formula because the formula is there at the back of the book. So let me add more pages for this question. Okay. Now let's continue. 1.1.3. Let's check what are we given there in 1.1.3. We are given the square root of 2x plus 1 is equals to x minus 1. Okay, so let's solve that. So we have the radicand of 2x plus 1 is equals to x minus 1. So I'm going to remove the square root by squaring both sides. Okay, so if you do that, you're going to have the square root of 2x plus 1. You square this, it's going to be equals to x minus 1, and then all squared. Therefore, you're going to have 2x plus 1 is equals to, remember that this 2 is going to undo that square root there, and then you expand this. It's the perfect square trinomial, so it's going to give you x squared minus 2x, and then a plus 1. Therefore, this is x squared, and then a minus 4x. So you can see that 1 and this 1 are going to undo each other as well. So as a result, you're going to have that as 0. Now you try to factorize this. It's going to give you x into x take away 4 is equals to 0. Therefore, this boils down to x being 0, or x is equals to 4. Now you need to check these answers. Remember, if you are dealing with square root, you must be able to check your answer. So if you take 4 for an example, you put it here, it's going to be 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 1, and that is 9. You square 9, it's going to give you 3. Now 4 minus 1 is going to be 3, so that is fine, it's correct. Okay, now you take a 0, you put it here, it's going to be 2 times 0 plus 1, which is 1. But this side, if you put a 0, you're going to get -1, which is not true. Okay, so now we are going to reject. We are going to reject x is not equals to 0. Okay, please be able to reject that, or you can write that x is equals to 4 only. So that is also 4 marks. Okay, that is also 4 marks. Let's check where you're going to get the marks. Of course, you're going to get the mark for that one, and being able to reject, the conclusion for rejection is really important, and the correct factors, and being able to square both sides, and you have that expression there. It's going to give you 4 marks. Okay, now 1.1.4, you have x squared minus 3 is bigger than 2x. That's inequality. Okay, you have x squared minus 3 is bigger than 2x. Therefore, this is quadratic again, so I'm going to write it in a standard form, which is going to be x squared minus 2x minus 3 is bigger than 0, exclusive of 0, of course. So now you need to get the factors. As a result, you will get what? The critical values. So that is going to be x, 3, and then 1. All right. And then now, if you check carefully, you'll see that 3 should be negative and they should be positive. So therefore, the critical values is going to be x is equals to 3, or x is equals to -1. So remember, you're not done. You must do this graphically. Okay. So this is graphical method. You are going to have a -1 here and a +3 there. So now they are talking about bigger than 0. So bigger than 0 basically mean above the x-axis, which is that region. This is where your solution is going to be. So now the conclusion should be x is less than -1 or x is bigger than 3. That's how you're going to write that. I'm aware of the alternative representation. So the other way will be that is x element of real number from -infinity to -1. You put a union there for or, and then 3 to positive infinity. And then those of you who love the other method for this situation here, you are going to have your number line, which is going to have -1 and 3. So because it is exclusive, you're going to have this type of dot, of circle. This is going to continue there. And then at -1, you are going to have that one. So here it's minus, and then here it's plus, and then a plus there. But don't forget to also tell them that it's x less than -1 or x is bigger than 3. Okay, if you are using that method, or you can use interval notation against the inequalities. So that's how you're going to solve this one. Where do you guys get the marks here? You get the marks for it's solving marks. Let's check the marks first. So that is 4 marks as well. They're very stingy. Okay, to be able to get the critical values there, and to be able to, in fact, the correct factors and not form of it, and your answers there being correctly represented, is going to give you guys full 4 marks. Okay, seems like I need more space for this one as well. Let me add more page. So let's check the next question. That is 1.2. Solve for x simultaneously. That is x plus 2 is equals to y, and 1 over x plus 1 over y is equals to 1. So you must solve that simultaneously. Let's do it together. Okay, so that is 1.2. You have x plus 2 is equals to 2y. That is the first equation. That is the first equation. Let's check then the second equation. It's 1 over x plus 1 over y is equals to 1. So you have 1 over x plus 1 over y is equals to 1. Allow me to simplify this equation 2 properly, because it looks weird. So I'm going to multiply both sides by xy. If I do that, I'm going to get y plus x is equals to xy. You multiply this equation by xy. Okay. So that is going to give you guys the second equation. It's not really bad. Okay, that is going to give you guys the second equation. Now you want to solve them simultaneously. I'll say that from the linear equation, which is the first equation, you have x plus 2 is equals to 2y. I'm going to make x the subject of the formula. So x is equals to 2y minus 2, and that is going to give me what? The third equation. So now to solve this nicely, I'll say that substitute 3 into equation 2. 3 into equation 2. Now, that means in equation 2, wherever there is x, I'm going to substitute with 2y minus 2. So you have y plus 2y minus 2 is equals to x. X is 2y minus 2 into y. Let's simplify this properly. That is going to be 3y minus 2 is equals to, if you do this properly, so x is that there, so that is going to be 2y squared, and then a minus, that is xy, right? Minus 2y. Minus 2y, and I need to put this in a standard form. that is going to be 2y squared minus 5y, and then a plus 2 is equals to 0. And I need to factorize this properly. So let's get the factors of this. It's going to be 2y and then y. To get negative 5, it has to be 1 and 2. So that is 2, that is 1. They are all negative because that is negative. Okay. To confirm that, negative 4y minus y is negative 5. So perfect. The factors are correct. Therefore, y is equals to 1 over 2, or y is equals to positive 2. So now you need to get the value of x. I'm going to say that substitute y into equation 3. Therefore, equation 3 was x is equal to 2y minus 2. So x is equals to 2y. Y is 1 over 2 minus 2. And that is going to be 1 minus 2, which is equals to negative 1. And then the other one would be x is equals to 2 into 2. Okay, minus 2. That is 4 minus 2 there. And then the answer is 2. So here are the answers for simultaneous equation. Let's check. This was 5 marks. This was 5 marks. They're very stingy today with marks. So of course 1 mark will be your solution. Your solutions, all of them correctly presented, and probably getting the substitution correctly right there. And you guys get, because they are very stingy today, you get 5 marks. You get marks for the correct substitution. And then now let me add more page for the last question. For the last question, where is it? Given 2 to the power m plus 1 plus 2 to the power m is equals to 3 to the power n plus 1 minus 3 to the power n, where m and m are integers, determine the value of m plus n. Okay, so let's write that down. That is 1.3. You have 2 to the power m plus 1 plus 2 to the power m is equals to 3 to the power n plus 2 minus 3 to the power n. Let's confirm that. You have 2 to the power m plus 1 plus 2 to the power m is equal to 3 to the power n plus 2 minus 3 to the power n. This will determine the value of n plus n, m plus n. So I'm going to use the laws of indices. That's the only way to do this question, by means of indices. So by that I mean you're going to have 2 to the power m multiplied by 2 to the power 1 plus 2 to the power m is equals to 3 to the power n multiplied by 3 to the power 2 minus 3 to the power n. Therefore, you check what is common here. That is 2 to the power m, like that. And then into 2 plus 1 is equals to 3 to the power n into 3 to the power 2 minus 1. Okay, so now you have this is going to be 3 and then multiply by 2 to the power m, in that order. That is equals to that is 8. It's 9 minus 1, so that is 8. So let's have 3 to the power n multiplied by 8. So 8 in terms of prime basing is going to be what? 8 is going to be 2 to the power 3. Okay, that is 8. So they want the values of m and n. This is now a takeaway. It's easy. So you say that m is equals to, m is going to equal to 3 there. Think about it. And n is equals to, n is going to equals to 1 there. That is n. So n is 1, but they want the value of what? of m plus n is equals to 3 plus 1. So the value here is 4. Okay, and that was the end of question 1. So let me do the other questions as soon as I have time. So I have the full paper. This was number pattern, so it's going to be my next series. Please stay tuned. Question 2, I'm gonna do it with question 3 because they fall under one band of number pattern, your series, the geometric series and your arithmetic series there. Okay, and then you have grade 10 stuff. That's your exponential situation. I'll do that. Question 5, that's quadratic and grade 10 hyperbola. I will do that as well. That's your finance. It wasn't really bad. This was very easy. Calculus and probability there. Okay, so I will do this paper in my next series. Thank you very much for watching.